Swapnil Kothari, Supreme Court advocate, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Swapnil Kothari. What do you make of this kind of an arrest of a young reporter by the Punjab police? All of a sudden, certain charges also being levelled against her, SC/ST Act also being invoked against her, charges of road rage and whatnot.
Well, these are all drummed up and fabricated charges. You and I both know that when a glass house is about to be broken through Operation Sheesh Mahal, people start throwing stones back at you because that is what they're doing. Now, definitely Aam Aadmi Party is not for the Aam Aadmi, as it's clearly indicative of what is happening to your journalist reporter. This is definitely illegal. Times now should be taking an action on her behalf, or even, legally, maybe her parents or she herself can sue in a court of law and not take this up seriously, because today this has happened to a small reporter. This
yes,
could go
because
on
if
further.
Today it can happen to Bhavana, tomorrow it could be someone else, and that's the biggest worry. And unfortunately, we have to mention that this is not the first time that our reporters have been targeted. Mr. Swapnil Kothari, thank you for joining us. Legal luminary Aman Lekhi, former Additional Solicitor General, also on the broadcast with us. Thank you for joining us. Do you find this disturbing? We're just talking about the facts as they happened here. The reporter out on the ground, just doing her duty, out there to cover an event, and then being taken by the police officials. It's been 19 hours now.
Well, lacks in legitimacy altogether. Patently illegal on various counts. One, where SC/ST Act is concerned, intent is absolutely mandatory. And if something is done, presuming it is done in a fit of rage, that will be outside the SC/ST Act in any case. Two, as arrest is concerned, arrest is part of investigation. You don't arrest for punishing, you arrest for aiding investigation. And there has to be justification for an arrest. It cannot be indulged in a matter of routine. Three, insofar as the lapse is concerned, the lapse is not only on the part of the police, which is part of the executive, because unfortunately in the manner in which events are unfolding today, police is no longer acting as an agency which is enforcing the law. Police is actually enforcing the commands of its political masters, which is denuding it of all worth as a policing agency at all. This is another instance of the same thing. And two, as far as the magistracy is concerned, when a person is arrested, is taken for remand. Remand is not as a matter of course. The magistrate has to examine the reasons for the arrest. And if he finds no reason for the arrest, should not remand. So this is a thing which is now actually very imperative for the magistracy to intervene where this is concerned. Four, I feel, I don't know why, this arrest, lacking as it is and all justification, should be challenged immediately, because whether the arrest is illegal, it is outside the constraints which are actually imposed on a law enforcing agency to the purposes affecting it. And because Article 21 is then viable, it has a unique place in our constitution. And more so, where 21 is concerned, where reporters, and this makes it not that reporters are entitled to special privileges, but nevertheless there has to be discretion when you deal with reporters, considering the environment in which they act, and of course the authorities, the agencies, the persons who are generally the object of their of the job. So they'll be ruffling feathers by reason of their probing some unsavory acts of the politicians, and the courts should be, for that reason, even more wary about abuse of law where reporters are concerned. So on all counts, as far as this aspect is concerned, this is wanting in justification, should be severely condemned, and immediate remedial action is necessary and warranted.
Okay, I just want to ask you, because the police officials have claimed that the vehicle that she was traveling in rammed into another vehicle. That is a charge that has been levelled. And she was a passenger in this vehicle. She was not driving at the time. But even then, she has been taken into custody. You've seen the visuals. There was a male police person who was escorting her away, not even saying where she was being taken. Also, if you can explain to us, the SC/ST Act being invoked, what kind of powers does it give the police?
No, the SC/ST Act is invoked deliberately for the purposes of making bail difficult. And of course, now it's more or less a given in most of these situations where you have this OBC or SC coming into a political discourse for the purposes of diverting attention from what actually is happening. Because what is being suggested is that an elite section of society is showing some kind of indifference, hostility to the marginalized section, so as to denude or in some way deny them of some kind of support or sympathy of the the public. So this is abuse of SC/ST Act and defeats the very purpose behind the enactment. Because far from using it for the purpose of protecting SC/ST, the abuse of it shows that you are going to subject the SC/ST to greater outrage, because the act is not serving the purpose it is. Two, as the police is concerned, police is oblivious of its obligations, which is generally across the country, as the visuals themselves showing. And drunk as they are with power, they are unconcerned about the limits and habitually transgress them, as you're seeing in the videos. So as far as the police is concerned, the police has to be held rigorously to the standards it enforces. And quite obviously, there's more of lapse than compliance so that is concerned. The visuals make it absolutely apparent. Three, because these visuals are there, the management is happening, it is not necessary that everyone has to move to court. The public outrage and the public condemnation acts like these should actually supply the want of any efficacious legal intervention, because if the politicians, the police are aware that actions like these will have immediate repercussions and there'll be an element of angst and anger at what is happening, in that event, the popular outrage itself be a check which is concerned. As we as a nation are given to quietude, when in fact we are obligated to act. And it's time that we raise our voices and actually put across what is actually necessary to rein in such abuse, which is becoming extremely rampant today. Police is no longer an independent agency and should act as an agency which is meant to enforce the law, rather than become basically an agency which is implementing the mandate of those who actually control the institution for the purpose of benefit of the politicians who use it for their own vested interests.
You said it's time to raise our voices, and it's no longer about Bhavana Kishore only, because this could be any citizen. If police officials are used as a force of the political parties to unleash them whenever they're unhappy with someone, we can only imagine where this is headed. Mr. Aman Lepki, thank you so much for joining us and putting that in legal perspective.